Hello, and welcome to the Riley Sales Introduction presentation for the Lynx Outdoor Heat Pump Unit by Ducane. This presentation will go over the basic control board setup functions along with some key features and benefits. Ducane is offering the Lynx heat pump unit in two sizes, a 3-ton unit and a 5-ton unit. The 3-ton unit will be utilized in 2- and 3-ton applications, and the 5-ton unit will be utilized in 4- and 5-ton applications. In my opinion, the greatest benefit of this unit is that we can utilize a conventional thermostat and wiring setup to control the system. This will allow for high SEER variable speed operation through a conventional control setup. A rotary compressor is utilized in the 3-ton unit, and a scroll compressor is utilized in the 5-ton unit. Basic unit operation is the same in both units, but engineering found that the rotary compressor was more reliable and efficient in the 3-ton unit, and a scroll compressor worked best in the 5-ton unit. The units are manufactured with removable side panels for easy access to coils for cleaning and maintenance. Just remove the top 2 screws per panel, lift up, and you have access to the face of each coil section. Here is the breakdown for the rotary compressor used in the 3-ton units. The units utilize an LG rotary compressor accompanied with a compressor accumulator, a compressor equalization solenoid, and a top cap thermostat. Here is the breakdown of the scroll compressors utilized in the larger 5-ton units. These compressors come with internal devices such as an internal relief valve and a check valve on the discharge pipe of the compressor. Here we see the Ducane model number nomenclature breakdown. Follow suit with the rest of the Ducane line. We got 4 for 410A, HP for heat pump, 18 for 18 SEER, and then V. V's for variable speed compressor. I know we're used to seeing an L there for louvered grills. Lynx line, we're going to be using a V for variable speed compressor. Following that is the BTU rating, 36 for 3-ton, 60 for 5-ton. So for 2- and 3-ton applications, we'll be doing a 4 HP 18V 36, and for 4- and 5-ton applications, we'll be using a 4 HP 18V 60. Here's a chart stating the valve field connection sizes and the recommended line sets for the units. The 3-ton unit will have 3/8 3/4 inch valve connections, and the 5-ton unit will have 3/8 7/8 valve connections. The 3-ton unit will utilize a 3/8 and 3/4 line set for line sets up to 50 feet long in both the 2- and 3-ton applications. The 5-ton unit will utilize a 3/8 7/8 line set for the 4-ton application and a 3/8 inch and an eighth line set for 5-ton applications up to 50 feet. Please refer to the installation instructions for any line set applications over 50 feet or any line set applications with substantial vertical rise or drop. The topics we're going to cover the remainder of the presentation going to be the unit selection codes, error codes, charge mode, operation modes, and then finally defrost settings. All right, first thing we're going to go over is the unit selection code. Just want to start off by saying that these instructions are located inside the unit control cover panel where the charging diagrams are, and they are also located in the install manual as well. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to power up the unit. We're going to go to the control board on the outdoor unit, and we're going to press and hold the SW1 button on the board until a single dashed line appears, and then we're going to release the SW1 button. Press and hold the SW1 button again until PU is displayed, and then release SW1. We're going to press and hold the button again until the correct unit type is displayed, and then release. The unit number will display for 10 seconds and the SW1 must be pressed for 3 seconds when the correct unit code is displayed. So if we're on a 3-ton unit and we want to program it for 2-ton capacity, we're going to press and hold the SW1 button until the white display shows 58. We're going to hold the button for 3 seconds and release it, and that will program the unit to run in 2-ton capacity. If it's a 3-ton unit and we want it to run as a 3-ton, we're going to press and hold that SW1 button until a 60 is displayed there, hold it for 3 seconds, and release it. Same thing with the 5-ton unit. We're going to be looking for a 62 for 4-ton here, and a 63 to keep it in 5-ton. Now we're going to get into the unit error codes. To enter the error recall mode, push and hold the SW1 button until a solid E appears, then release the SW1 button. The outdoor control will display up to 10 error codes in memory. If E000 is displayed, there are no error codes found on the outdoor unit. To exit error code recall mode, push and hold the SW1 button until 3 horizontal bars appear. To clear error codes stored in memory, continue to hold SW1 while the 3 lines are displayed. Release SW1 when a solid C is displayed. Push and hold SW1 for 1 second, then release. The 7-segment display will show 000 and exit error recall mode. Note that the large C indicates a cooling call. Be sure to clear all error codes before initial unit startup. Next topic we're going to cover is charge mode. Charge mode is basically 2 pins on the board that, when jumped, initiate the unit to run at 100% capacity. The charge mode can be used when charging the system with refrigerant, checking the refrigerant charge, pumping down the system, and performing other service procedures that require the outdoor unit to run at 100% capacity. Be sure to remove the jumper after the system is fully tested and charged. Now we're going to go over the operation mode for cooling. The operation mode jumper has 3 selectable cooling modes: efficiency, normal, and comfort. Efficiency is a jumper on pins 1 and 2, normal is a jumper on pins 2 and 3, and comfort is the jumper removed. The factory default is efficiency mode, so these units are going to come out of the factory set up with jumpers on pins 1 and 2. The efficiency mode has a variable suction pressure set point that will vary with the outdoor temperature. As the outdoor temperature increases, the suction pressure set point will decrease. When the operation mode jumper is installed in the normal mode, which is pins 2 and 3, the suction pressure set point is fixed at 135 psi. When the operation jumper is in comfort mode, which is no jumper installed at all, the suction pressure set point is fixed at 125 psi. First mode we're going to go over is efficiency mode. This is how the units ship out of factory. Again, it's with jumpers placed on pins 1 and 2. The efficiency mode has a variable suction pressure set point that will vary with the outdoor temperature. As the outdoor temperature increases, the suction pressure set point will decrease. This is the largest range of compressor modulation, which is the highest efficiency you can get. Basically, it's going to keep a warmer coil. Next operation mode we're going to go over is normal mode, pins 2 and 3. When the operation mode jumper is installed in the normal mode, the suction pressure set point is 135 psi. This decreases the modulation range in the compressor compared to the efficiency mode. So you lose a little bit of efficiency in this mode. The third and final mode for cooling is comfort mode, which is the jumper removed off the pins. When the unit runs in comfort mode, the suction pressure set point is fixed at 125 psi. This is longer run time for the compressor at a higher compressor speed to maximize dehumidification. For the tri-state area, we're not really in a high humid area, so It's not recommended that we use this unless maybe you have like a server room or you're going to install a system in a place that has high humidity. For the most part, we're going to stick to efficiency mode. That's what these units were built for: high SEER, maximum return on investment for the customer. So that is what's recommended for our area. Next, we're going to cover the operation mode for heating. Pins 4 and 5 is efficiency mode. This makes the unit run the suction and liquid pressures based on the outdoor temperature. No jumper on pins 4 and 5 is comfort mode. The suction pressure set point is 135 psi and the liquid pressure is variable based on outdoor temperature. Now we're going to go over the defrost selections for the unit. The unit comes with 3 defrost modes. Normal defrost mode, which is time and temperature. The unit comes from factory set up in normal defrost mode. There is auto defrost. An auto defrost or non-max defrost has a 14-minute max time in defrost and utilizes a 50, 70, 90, and 100 degree temperature termination. Max defrost is the final mode. Max defrost terminate when 19 minutes accumulated defrost time is satisfied, or 5 minutes fan on time is satisfied, or coil temperature reaches 110 degrees. The accumulated defrost time is monitored while in the defrost mode and the compressor is energized. The new defrost algorithm will default to a 90-minute frost accumulation time following a sacrificial defrost. When this time is satisfied, it will defrost and record the amount of time spent in defrost. This time is then compared to the desired defrost time and used to adjust the frost accumulation time for the next cycle. This desired defrost time is a parameter that is unit dependent. There are several protections built in to help maintain proper operation in abnormal conditions. The unit will reset to minimum frost accumulation time for long defrosts. Here we see the pin setup for normal defrost. On the auto defrost pins, you're going to have the jumper just on one pin. It's not going to jump it out. And then on the defrost termination temperature range, it's going to be jumped across 50 degrees. This is how the unit ships from factory, and it's just basic time and temperature defrost. Here we see the pin settings for an auto defrost setup. Basically what we're going to do is the auto defrost pins, we're going to put the jumper across the pins, and then we are going to select the defrost termination temperature for the coil. That's on this set of pins here. Right now it's set at 50 degrees. We can easily move that pin, jumper pin, take it off, put it up onto 70, 90, or even 100 degrees. So what this is going to do is when defrost is determined necessary, the control begins defrost by performing the following operations. If no shift delay is enabled and it is not a max defrost, it's going to start the defrost timer. It's going to stop the outdoor fan from running. It's going to shift the reversing valve to the cooling position. And then the compressor is going to run, and it's going to monitor the coil temperature for a rise until it hits the termination value you select. So it's going to run until that coil hits 50, 70, 90, or even 100 degrees, and then it's going to terminate defrost and either go back into heating mode, or if there's no demand for heat, it's just going to sit idle after defrost. So auto defrost can be terminated 2 different ways. Temperature, which we discussed on the last slide, that's when you're running in defrost and you hit the 50, 70, 90, or 100 degree mark that you set with the pins. It'll defrost once it hits that temperature. Or if the compressor runs for 14 minutes and it doesn't hit that temperature, it's going to automatically terminate the defrost. And that time does not reset upon loss of demand during defrost. So if you have a call for heating inside and the stat satisfies, it is not going to reset the defrost time. Here is the pin settings for max defrost. Auto defrost pins are not jumped out, and there is also no jumper installed on your defrost termination temperature pins. On the bottom of that it says no jumper equals 90 degrees Fahrenheit or max defrost. So that's where we're at. No auto defrost jumper, no defrost termination temperature jumper. Those are your settings for max defrost. So max defrost can be terminated 3 different ways. It can be terminated when 19 minutes accumulated defrost time is satisfied, or 5 minutes of fan on time is satisfied, or the coil temperature reaches 110 degrees Fahrenheit. The accumulated defrost time is monitored while in the defrost mode and the compressor is energized. Keep in mind that in max defrost, the outdoor fan motor is going to run. What that's doing is, as the outdoor temperature coil increases, they're trying to pull that warmer air across the fan blade and the shroud of the outdoor unit. The fan blade and shroud doesn't always have a large gap between the two, so if the blades start to build up ice or the shroud starts to build up ice, you have the possibility of building up and them hitting each other. So this is just a preventative measure to keep that from happening. Here's a copy of a startup sheet. I encourage all technicians and installers to use startup sheets for 2 reasons. It gives you a basis after an install of, hey, I'm going to double check all my voltages, amps, gas pressures if you're doing a gas furnace. Just checks your work for the install that you did. And then also for a service technician, whether it's a day, a week, a year from the date of install, it gives them a baseline of, hey, this is how the unit was working when it was newly installed. This is how it differs from what you're finding now. It gives them something to go off them to help them narrow down problems that they might be having. All right, so to sum everything up, first we're going to set unit to desired capacity in unit selection mode. Then we can go down and set cooling mode and the heating mode jumpers. From factory, both those modes are going to be set in efficiency. That's the highest efficient mode that there is for these units. For the tri-state area, for our climate, those modes should work best. Unless you get into a high humid application, you can knock that cooling mode down to comfort mode. That's where you're going to extend the runtime of the compressor and dehumidify more. So if you're doing like a server room or you have any other applications where humidity is a problem, you can change that jumper to comfort mode from efficiency. Next, we're going to set the defrost to run in normal, auto defrost, or max defrost. Again, the unit is going to ship from factory in normal mode. That's just time and temperature. Really hasn't been a problem before. That's how all the other heat pumps have been shipped. You do have flexibility and customization by going into auto defrost or max defrost. Auto defrost, you jump out the auto defrost pins, and then you can change your defrost termination temperature from 50, 70, 90. So if you're in an application where you want to get a longer defrost time, maybe the install, the house is up on a hill, or the building, wherever you're doing, is at a higher elevation or colder climate, or maybe the outdoor unit's in the shade all the time. You want to extend the the defrost time. You can do that, but out of the box from factory, the defrost is going to be set in normal mode, which is just regular time and temperature. Make sure to use the charge mode feature when charging the unit to ensure proper refrigerant levels. And then after we're done charging the unit up, make sure you remove that jumper before putting the unit into service. And then finally, after the install is all done, please fill out a startup sheet for the install that you just did. I attached a copy of the quick start guide provided by Ducane for the Lynx unit. This is a nice 2-page document that goes over the basic installation steps for setting one of these units up. Gives you a nice way of explaining what everything does, the 5 operating modes, the 3 modes in cooling, which is efficiency, normal, and comfort, and then the 2 modes, which is the efficiency mode and comfort mode in heating. It's going to go over the refrigerant charging using that refrigerant charge jumper. the valve size connections, which for the 2 and 3 ton applications, you're going to use a 3 ton unit, which is a 3/8 liquid, 3/4 inch suction. For the 5 ton unit, 4 ton applications, you're going to use 3/8, 7/8, and 5 ton, you're going to use 3/8, 1 1/8, and then you're going to need to use a 7/8 to 1 1/8 adapter for the 5 ton applications, because the 5 ton unit will come shipped 3/8, 7/8 for the valve size connections. And then it goes over some wiring, some basic wiring on how you're going to use conventional wiring to control this thing. And then finally, and most importantly, the programming the unit type for what tonnage or what capacity you want it to run in. So 3 ton unit, you have the 2 ton and 3 ton capacities, and the 5 ton unit, you have the 4 ton and 5 ton capacities. The quick start guides are available at any of the Riley sales locations. The locations are listed below with the associated phone number for each store. We also have digital copies we can email to everybody. So if you have any questions or inquiries about any of the Ducane line or the Lynx unit specifically, give a call to any of the stores and we'll be able to help you out. Thank you for your time in watching this video, and thank you for your interest in Ducane and specifically the Ducane Lynx heat pumps. Again, if you have any questions or concerns, give Riley Sales a call and we'll be able to help you out and get the job done. Thank you.